this is going to be a long series. We're starting the question arcs today. There's like 5 chapters, I think, in the question arcs. And then it goes to the answer arcs, which is its own set of things, which means it's going to be a very long thing. This is going to be a long-running series. So this is Umineko When the Seagulls Cry. It is a visual novel. I'll be reading through it. I will be trying not to die in the process. Got my tea here. Yeah. Let's just dive on in. Episode 1, Legend of the Golden Witch. Welcome to Rokanjima. The Golden Witch extends her heartfelt greetings. Please take it easy and relax for the time being. No need to think overly hard about any of this. Quietly accept all that is about to happen. That is all that's being asked of you. Difficulty level is standard. You might as well at least start by taking the easy road. I am dubious. Okay, maybe it's only 4 episodes. I thought, but there were 4 episodes. I've heard that they're each about 10 hours of reading each, so this will be a long series. Okay. Again, so you still haven't overcome your love of alcohol. The old physician let out a sigh as he removed the stethoscope. 2 elderly men could be seen in the dimly lit study, which was filled with dust and a sickly sweet stench. The corner of this room, which was much larger than what most people would call a study, was an expensive-looking bed, a man undergoing a medical examination, the physician conducting it. There was also what appeared to be a servant watching over the whole scene. The bottle is my friend. It is no less of a friend than you, and it has stood by my side even longer than you have. As the man bearing his chest for the stethoscope rearranged his clothes, he spoke unapologetically. Kinzo-san, your body only appears to be well thanks to the effects of the medicine. However, if you continue to drink with such strong spirits, the treatment will become meaningless.
We are being hosted.
Thank you, Pixie, for the host. Trust my judgment. Refrain from drinking. I thank you, though only for the sentiment, my friend. Genji. Another glass. Water it down slightly. That way Nanjo can save face. Are you quite sure? After eyeing both the master who demanded the alcohol and the family doctor who forbade it, Genji, the old butler, silently gave a slight nod and carried out his master's orders faithfully. Alright, have a good night, Pix. Sleep well. The family doctor, Nanjo, let out a deep sigh once again as he watched the butler busy himself alongside the liquor cabinet. There was a smell filling up the room. This sweet, poisonous aroma felt as though it melted the heart, if not the soul itself. It was the smell of that venomous green drink that the man couldn't bear to part with. Nanjo, you are my close friend, and we have known each other for quite a long time. I am deeply grateful for all that you have done to keep me alive this long. I have done nothing. After all, you never listened to my advice as your physician. Ha. And you never listen when I warn you about a mistaken chess move you're about to make. It seems only fair, does it not? Master. Thank you. I wouldn't die if I ran out of your medicine, but I would if I ran out of this. Disregarding Nanjo, who had his face set in a resigned expression, Kenzo took the glass that Genji was holding out to him. Very few people would associate that venomous color with an alcoholic beverage. Nanjo, be honest with me. How much time do I have left? Well now. How short must I make it to convince you to set the bottle aside? Nanjo once again let out a sigh of resignation. Then he finally spoke to Kenzo as the latter swirled his glass. You don't have long. What precisely do you mean by that? Let us illustrate it with the chess game here. You have very nearly achieved checkmate, but you have not yet cornered my king. Nanjo's gaze was directed at a side table with a massive chess set placed atop it. Judging by the positioning of the pieces, the game seemed to be entering its final stage. Black's rook and bishop were cutting deeply into enemy lines. White's king had already been castled and cornered, so that even an amateur could see that the match would reach its conclusion before too long. Every time Nanjo came to give a medical examination, both of them would make a few moves. Nanjo was hinting that Kinzo would most likely fall into his eternal sleep before this game could begin. These were less the words of a physician, they were the words of an old friend. Were you a normal patient, I would recommend that you write a will at this point. And what is a will, Nanjo? Handwritten instructions to the vultures on how to devour and scatter my corpse? Oh, not at all. As the word suggests, it is a way for you to record your will for later generations. It is far more than just a means to divide up your inheritance. Oh. And apart from the division of the inheritance, what might I write off? You might write of your regrets, or matters you have left unfinished, things you want to pass down to others, or merely matters you wish to communicate. Anything you want. Things I want to pass down to others, or matters I wish to communicate? Ridiculous. Uroshima... Yoshiromiya Kinzo, not one thing I want to tell or leave behind. I was born with nothing. I will die with nothing. There is nothing I wish to leave to my foolish children. Even if the end were to come today, even if it were to come right now, I would accept that fate of death without a trace of fear. I created everything. My fortune, my prestige, everything. Those were built up by me, and they will be lost along with me. There is nothing I wish to leave behind. Nothing. After I'm gone, I care not if it all goes to waste. I desire no tomb nor coffin. Those were the terms of the contract I made with the witch. When I die, everything will be lost. That has been part of the promise since the beginning, and that's why nothing will be left behind. There's nothing I can leave behind. After reaching a furious crescendo, Kinzo suddenly slumped over. His expression was limp and feeble, as though an evil spirit had possessed him and then left. However, I do have one regret. I have nothing to leave behind, but there is one thing I cannot leave undone. You would do well to write it down. Of course, it would be best if you could finish it before your time comes. However, even if the worst happens, those who come after you will carry it to completion. You must leave behind your regrets so that they can be resolved, even if you are unable to do so yourself. That is the purpose of a will. When Nanjo tried to gently pat Kinzo's shoulder, the dying man flew into a sudden rage and batted away Nanjo's hand. It's useless, useless, useless. It must be done while I still live. At the moment of my death, my soul will be devoured by the demons of the contract and wiped out of existence. For me, there will be no peace or another world after death. That's why everything must be completed before I go. That's why a will has no meaning for me. And even if I had the chance to write such a thing, if I did have such a chance, I'd want to see it. I'd want to see it one more time. I want to see Beatrice's smiling face one last time. Oh, Beatrice, why have you resisted me for so long? I'll return everything you have given me. I'm prepared to lose everything. So please, show me your smile just one more time. Beatrice, I beg of you. You must be able to hear my plea. That's the kind of woman you are. I beg of you, show yourself to me. You're here, aren't you? You're standing there, invisible, listening to every word I say. And even now, you're mocking me from somewhere in this room, aren't you? Please, appear before me once more and smile. Feel free to scold me, even snatch away my life by your own hands if you so desire. I don't want to die alone like this. I cannot let myself die until I've seen your smile just one more time. Ah, Beatrice, Beatrice. I offer up this life of mine. I offer it up to you. I'm begging you, Beatrice. So this game has two sets of artwork to it. The artwork in the opening trailer is actually the old artwork for the game. It got revamped at some point, and the version that you'll see in the game when we're in the middle of dialogue is the new artwork. But the trailer is still the old art style, which gives something of a date to this game, I suppose. Or at least, it says something about the game when it first came out, and it was popular enough that it got refurbished with new character images. October 4th, 1986. First day. Whoa. Things sure move with the times. I can't believe we'll be able to make this trip in just 20 minutes. I couldn't help but scratch my head and marvel at how far things have come in recent years. We used to go by boat. Back then, we were all forced to endure nearly half a day of swaying back and forth over the sea before we reached Nijima. Things have gotten so much more convenient these days. Still, I've never been on a plane this small. I've flown in a huge jumbo jet before, but this will be my first experience in such a tiny one. It's gonna shake, isn't it? They say smaller boats shake more than big ones, so I guess the same rule probably applies to planes. Ah, just spare me. Ha, don't worry, Battler-kun. It shakes much less than the boat did. Is that you, George Anki? Don't scare me like that. You just shaved 3 years off my life. Anyway, what's shaking got to do anything? You don't think I'm actually scared of the plane shaking or maybe falling out of the sky or something like that, right? Oh, of course not. My mistake. I see you've changed a lot since we last saw you. After all, it's been 6 years since then. You're not a kid anymore. Ha. Sheesh, and here you are, old enough to smoke and drink. I've got no interest in smoking, but I've always wanted to try some booze. Heh. Well, if you got your dad's genes, I'll bet you can hold your own when it comes to drinking, right? Well, I usually drink for business rather than pleasure. It's pretty hard to do business in Japan without it. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why I never miss a chance to get in some practice. That's no good, Battler-kun. You're still a minor. Don't you know alcohol could stunt the growth of, never mind. Come on, I'm tall enough already. In fact, it'd be easier to find clothes if I shrunk a little. Puffed my chest out proudly. Until I hit my growth spurt, my height was below average in my class. Then I grew and grew, and before I knew it, I'd passed 180 centimeters. I guess I have all that muscle training and those shady mail-order performance-enhancing drugs to thank for that. Before then, I'd never dreamed that I'd shoot 10 centimeters above George Anki, who'd reached his peak height early on. Damn, I'll bet my relatives will all say, look how big you've grown, Battler-chan, or something. It's all so embarrassing. I wish they'd just give me a break. Anyway, my name, Battler. Well, it's pretty damn weird, don't you think? I've gotta wonder what my parents were thinking when they named me that. Never met anyone who could read it right the first time. I usually get called Sentoku. Sorry, but that's not even close. My name's written with these specific kanji. Can you read it? The first part of my family name is Shiromiya. That's a fairly plausible Japanese pronunciation so far. Problem is my given name. That is made up of the characters for fight and person, and it's pronounced Battler. Put it all together, and you've got Shiromiya Battler. Pretty crazy, right? It's crazy enough that my parents decided to call me that, but it's even more crazy that some government worker let them make it official. Both groups are at the top of my must-kill list. Anyway, this is one of my cousins. His name is written like this and pronounced Shiromiya George. He's 5 years older than me, so he must be turning 23 this year. Then, since the Shiromiya cousins consist of 2 boys and 2 girls. I ended up playing with George all the time. Because I've always thought of him as a big brother, I still call him Aniki to this day. Woo, Battler-kun, look how big you've gotten. You know what they say, leave a boy for 3 days and you'll hardly recognize him. Must be in his blood. Rudolph wasn't that tall either until his high school years. Perhaps people end up taller in their growth spurt if their growth spurt comes late. Nah, it's nothing special. A real man needs to be tough on the inside too. Exactly. Battler-kun here knows how it works. Real men win or lose based on what they've got on the inside. Can't ever forget to keep up your training and discipline. You gotta do that, wait very alertly for the perfect moment, and strike. Now, I never even imagined that I'd become the company president I am today, master of my own domain. Yet to think that I've come this far after starting out penniless and ruined. This stout, plump old guy is George Aniki's dad, Uncle Hideyoshi. He's the husband of Dad's older sister. In other words, we're not blood related. He's nice to children, sociable all the time, and even quick to give out some spending money to us kids. Simply put, he's an awesome uncle. He speaks in an odd and very noticeable Kansai dialect, but he's actually a natural, born Kanto man. Apparently, impressions are everything in the business world, so speaking in a different style than other people is an act that makes him stick out more. However, I hear he gets embarrassed when talking within earshot of a real Kansai person, so he switches back to standard Japanese. I don't really get it, but he's definitely an interesting person. If only you weren't so quick to brag about your life story. That's enough for now, I think. I'm sure Battler's getting tired of it. Aren't you? Nope, not at all. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's pretty cool for a man to have some stories he can brag about. I don't have anything like that at all. Oh, really? I'd imagine a man with your looks would leave girls crying left and right. I can't believe you have nothing at all to brag about. What? You're joking, right? Of course nothing like that's ever happened to me. Heck, I wish it would. Come on, you aren't fooling anyone. You must tell your aunt all about it later. After all, nothing of the sort ever happens to George. This is George Aniki's mother, Aunt Eva. She's my dad's older sister. She and Uncle Hideyoshi are a pair of jokers, and they've always teased me back as far as I can remember. This sometimes made them a bit hard to get along with when I was small. Well, I guess the events of the last 30 seconds prove that they can still be hard to get along with. Even so, George Aniki's family is interesting and fun, and they seem to get along just fine. Sheesh, that's pretty much the total opposite of my family. Battler-kun, have you seen Rudolph-san? Huh? He headed off to the bathroom a while ago. He's not back yet. Maybe the poor geezer dropped dead. That's no way to talk about your own father. Still, this isn't the first time he's taken so long in the bathroom. Yeah, the guy's always been that way. Does he really have to take a magazine with him every time he needs to take a dump? What on earth's he doing with those particular magazines? Oh, you don't need to worry about that at all. Since we've been together, I haven't let him do that on his own. Oh, I'll have to get all the juicy details later. Sounds like Dad's got his balls in an iron grip. You know exactly what would happen if with that man if I didn't keep a tight grip, don't you? No kidding. You're the only one capable of reining in that old bastard. As his son, I'm more than happy to let you take over. Yes, leave it all to me. After all, that's my specialty. This woman's my father's wife. Her name is Ushiromiya Kirie. I'm gonna keep mispronouncing that name. I keep misreading it. As you can probably tell from our conversation, she's not my real mother. She's basically my stepmom. My real mom died 6 years ago, and Kirie-san is the woman my dad married afterwards. It's understandable for someone my age. I could never bring myself to call his new wife Mom. And I doubt she feels like using the word son on this massive kid who's no relation to her at all. You're little kids. Okay. I want to point this out really fast. All of the characters so far have had this symbol on their outfit. And I know it says that these two aren't related, but they also both have this cross. I'm just gonna point that out there in the character design aspect. Interesting. You know, there's actually... Hold up. Oh gosh, those original images. It's there in the original images too. It's not just that. Okay. Oh boy. Those original images are very different. We know there's nothing to gain by fighting, so we decided that we wouldn't force ourselves to pretend that we were family. I've decided to act a bit more frank with her, acting as though she's a friendly neighbor instead. It's much easier if we just keep a little distance, instead of forcing ourselves to act all close and making each other uncomfortable. Kyrie-san has always been very open about all this, and thanks to that, we've been able to get along pretty well. Then, just when we were bad-mouthing Dad about being in the bathroom, the man himself came back, wiping his hands with a handkerchief. See, he's got the wing there. Battler. Hey, what's up, Dad? Ow! Don't pinch my ear, gah! You've been talking trash about me with Mom again, haven't you? What makes it so hard to show a little respect for your father, Ow! Damn it, that hurts! You can stretch my ear all you want, but I'm not gonna be able to fly. That hurts. Come on now. Up, 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 and down, left, right. Now say, Father, please forgive me for being so rude. Like hell I will. Go find yourself some members-only store if you want it that much. Ah, let go. This old bastard's my dad. I think I'm pretty tall myself, but Dad's just about as tall as I am. No surprise Aunt Eva started talking about Dad's blood when she saw my height. By the way, my height isn't the only thing I got from him. Seems having weird names runs in the family. Dad's full name is written like this. You can't read it, can you? Come on, it's just that. Anyway, this guy's name is pronounced Rudolph. Ha, you must hate Grandfather for giving him that name. Still, that's no reason to pass that weird naming tradition on to me. As the old bastard twisted my ear all over the place, Aunt Eva snuck up behind him and grabbed his ear. Hey, Rudolph, you should know better than to physically abuse your son. That hurts, Aniki. This scene perfectly illustrates the relationship between the prankster younger brother and the older sister who could deal out punishment to him despite his size. I think that's good enough for now, Eva Nissan. I'll make sure to stretch out his other ear later on. Oh, my apologies. I must leave some pulling for you to do, Kyrie-san. Rudolph, make sure Kyrie-san gives you lots and lots of punishment later on, okay? You're one to talk, Aniki, abusing your little brother like that. Hideyoshi Nissan, I'd like to thank you very much for picking her up. If you hadn't been so generous, she'd still be unsold in the stores. You have my gratitude and apologies. What? Who are you calling unsold? After taking 2-3 steps back, Aunt Eva unleashed one of her beautiful high reverse roundhouse kicks, which stopped just a centimeter away from the tip of Dad's nose. After starting out with Tai Chi Chuan for her figure, Aunt Eva then developed an interest in the Chinese martial arts. After that, she went through karate, taekwondo, capoeira. What is it she's learning now again? Well, anyway, they say a woman's weapons are in her lower body, and that's literally true for you. Rudolph! Did you know that a single direct blow to the side of the head like that would knock you unconscious? Not long ago, I accidentally connected in a practice match, and my opponent was out cold. Sheesh, what a pain. I'm so sorry she can't help walking like a freak. Dad, completely unfazed, shrugged and smiled ironically at Uncle Hideyoshi. Never had a brother or sister myself, so when I see you two bickering with each other, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Sure is nice to have a big family. Well, then why not consider making a little brother for George-kun? He's already a fine adult who's about to go off on his own, so it might be a good time to have another child. Hey, have a little sympathy for the new kid and all the pain and suffering he'd have to live through. I'm surprised even George-kun turned out as well as he did after being born from this sinister sister of mine. Hold on. I need tea. And what an awesome kid he is. Please share some of that with our blockhead of a son someday, will you? It's not at all how it happened. It's thanks to Eva Nissan's proper rearing that George-kun became the kind, gentle kid he is now. Isn't that right, Nissan? Oh, come now. Hey, you think so? Our George still has a long way to go. By the way, how's your little Anji-chan doing? I heard she was vomiting? Oh, that's right. I was hoping to finally see her face after such a long time. Is she okay? She often catches a cold when the seasons change. She's very frail. I did want to bring her along, but we decided to have my family look after her this time. I think that's a wise move. She'll heal a lot better if she stays away from that venomous head family household. A child's health is always more important than an adult's convenience, don't you think? I know of some great medicine for vomiting colds like that. When we get back home, I'll send you some right away, so please let her try some. Thank you very much, Hideyoshi-Nisan. I'm always in your debt. And once the conversation suddenly veered off in that direction, we kids didn't have a chance of butting in. For now, I'm just happy Aunt Eva gave Dad his just desserts for tugging on my ear. We're still waiting for the weather report. George and Aniki pointed at the counter. The checking weather sign was still stuck next to the departure times for the flight we were scheduled to board. According to Aniki, smaller planes are more subject to winds and other effects of the weather. And it's not at all uncommon for flights to be delayed because of that. Wait a sec, we are totally sure it's not going to shake, right? From down here on the ground, it just looks cloudy, not windy. Well, I guess it's different up where planes fly. Weather's a bit uncertain today. Aunt Eva looked at the TV in the lounge. Weather forecast was being broadcasted, informing us that the typhoon was approaching the Kanto region. A typhoon again? Yes, there's no helping it, with the annual family conference being held in October. Couldn't he have chosen a better season? I agree. I've always hoped we could have it sometime around the Obon festival in mid-August. In that case, why don't you suggest that to Father and Nissan during the conference? Very funny. Why don't you do it yourself? Our brother would never listen to anything I suggested. No way. It doesn't really bother me that much to have it in October. I was just saying you might want to propose it since you said you hate typhoons so much. I only said that typhoons always come around this time of year. You're the one who said you wanted to move it to the Obon festival, right? Well, you said it too last year. Didn't you say that it would be easier to fit into your schedule if we had it during the Obon festival? Never said anything like that. Oh, yes, you did. I certainly wouldn't forget something like that. No, I didn't. You're the one saying that all the time. Didn't you know? Stopping a kick just a hair's breadth away from impact is a high-level technique. Sheesh, woman your age shouldn't spread their legs like that. Dad and Aunt Eva's argument looked no different from a couple of brats quarreling. Even though they usually behave like normal parents, they turn right back into kids again when they meet their siblings at these family conferences. You're the one who looks like a real adult, analyzing it all calmly. I hope I never turn out like that old bastard. I'd much rather end up as an intellectual adult like you, Aniki. Like me? Oh, I still have a long way to go. I still have very little experience out there in the real world. Need to work on becoming more confident and sociable. I think you've far surpassed me on all of those counts, Battler-kun. I'm sure you'll outstrip me fast enough when you become an adult. George Aniki scratched his head and laughed, as though trying to hide his embarrassment. Of course, he was still just being humble. Aniki entered university and became an apprentice at Uncle Hideyoshi's company at the same time, studying both academics and how to become a business emperor in parallel. Then, right after graduating, he got into Uncle Hideyoshi's company as his father's aide, piling up a lot of real-life experience as he devoted himself zealously to his work. His great dream is to one day stand on his own and build up his own kingdom. Aniki is a real paragon of a man, sparing no effort as he strives towards his goal. It's no exaggeration to say that I really respect him. And then there's me. I'm nothing at all like Aniki. I'm living my happy-go-lucky, idle high school life to the max. I've got no dreams for the future. I'd just like to sit back, stay cool, and let the money flow in, but of course that would never happen. When Aniki was my age, he already formed an impressive objective and started devoting himself towards studying for that goal, so I guess I can't compare at all. My dad just says, sure, you can study at my company if you like cleaning toilets. Damn it, I'm not gonna be in the debt of that old bastard. I'll find my way myself. If only willpower was all it took to become an adult. Should I go on one of those self-searching journeys that are all the rage these days? Well, it's not like I could mooch off my parents for that kind of money. Right then, Uncle Hideyoshi shouted out loudly. He's a really nice person on the whole, but he does have a problem controlling the volume of his voice. When I looked over, I saw that he was greeting Aunt Rosa, who'd come late. Oh, if it isn't Rosa-san! Maria-chan, long time no see! Long time no see! Ooh! I'm gonna have a hard time with her dialogue. Maria, shouldn't that be it's good to see you again? Greet your uncle properly. Ooh, it's good to see you again. There you go. Well said. How about some candy as a reward? Oh, huh? Where'd I put it? Rosa-san, it's good to see you again. It's good to see you too, Maria-chan. It's been too long, Hideyoshi-san. And, oh my, Battler-kun. Look how big you've gotten. Ah, come on. It's embarrassing hearing that from every person I meet. Hey, Rosa, you're late. If that plane was on time, you'd barely have made it. I'm sorry. We had some trouble making our train connection. So, are we waiting on the weather again? Oh, don't complain. I much prefer the 30-minute plane trip to spending 6 hours bouncing about on a boat. Even if we kept waiting here for an hour, it's still much faster overall. Maria-chan's gotten huge, too. So how tall are you now? Ooh, so how tall am I now? Maria-chan parroted Uncle Hideyoshi's question, looking up at her mother. I guess she doesn't remember her own height. She's probably right in the middle of a growth spurt, so her height must change every month. Give it a few more years and she'll suddenly start looking feminine. Just how tall were you last time you got measured? Keep getting bigger and bigger, don't you? Right? Ooh. I think she's grown a lot since last year. Let's see. She turned 9 years old this year, didn't she? 9 years old. Ooh. That's right, you're 9 years old now. Glad to see you're doing well too, Maria-chan. Up you go. I guess you've gotten a bit too heavy to play airplane with. George, Anarchy, what a rude thing to say to a lady. Here, I'll do it. Up you go. Ooh. When I went to lift her up in Anarchy's place, Maria stiffened defensively, staring suspiciously at my face. Ah, that's right. The last time I met Maria was 6 years ago, and she was only 3 years old. Of course she doesn't remember my face. Maria-chan, don't you remember? It's Battler-kun. We used to play together, remember? Ooh. No surprise, I guess. The last time she met Battler, she was only 3. You don't keep memories at that age. She must know everyone's face apart from mine because she meets them every year, but I haven't had contact with the Shiromiya family for about 6 years now. So it's no surprise that 9-year-old girl doesn't have any memories of me. Even I can only just barely remember her being a 3-year-old crybaby. Maria, this is Battler Oni-chan. Rudolph Nissan's son. Understand? Brother's son is the brother is the son. That ooh sound was probably her brain going into overload at that complicated explanation. I guess the phrasing of that was a bit confusing. Ni or Oni, the title you'd use to refer to an actual older brother, can also be a friendly honorific for a boy who's only a bit older than you, and that is an overly complicated explanation for the English audience. Just like Ne or One, the word for big sister. Maria-chan, this is Battler-kun. He's your cousin, like me. Like George Oni-chan? Battler? Cousin? Ooh. That's right. You got it. This part of Anarchy is what makes me really look up to him. For someone who isn't married, he's just great at dealing with kids. I'm sure he'll be an indulgent father in the future. Battler Oni-chan. Maria looked straight at me with a questioning expression, as though asking whether it was okay to call me that. Yep, that's me, Battler. Nice to meet you, Maria. Woo! Battler! Maria, you mustn't talk to him like that. Call him Battler Oni-chan. That's alright, Aunt Rosa. I don't sweat the small stuff. Hey, Maria, we're close enough that we don't need honorifics, right? Battler, Battler, Battler! Ooh! That's right, Maria. Ooh. We horsed around for a while to make up for the 6-year gap in our friendship. Probably still thinks of me as nothing more than a big new friend, but things will probably work out as we get to know each other again. But I'm surprised. She's just the way I remembered her being 6 years ago. Seems that people just don't change that much after all. I'm a bit happy that she's still the pure innocent girl I remember. Her name is written like that. This cool cross kanji. It's pronounced Maria. Third character looks like, oh, shit. It's pretty cool. Her feelings don't usually show up on her face, so it can be difficult to know what she's thinking, but that's just how she looks on the outside. On the inside, she's just a sweet, normal girl. Then there's Maria's mother, Aunt Rosa. She's my dad's younger sister. Rosa is written like that. Here's a name that's totally not Japanese. Sorry to say it, but her name's almost as ridiculous as Dad's. I've got to respect her for not ending up as screwed up as he is. When I think about it, all the names in the family sound foreign. Just, why is grandfather so obsessed with that? Because of him, even we grandchildren have to put up with this weird naming sense. It's even more annoying since grandfather's own name is perfectly normal. Anyway, there's one thing about Aunt Rosa that it's a relief compared to the other family members. The old bastard and Aunt Eva have this annoying urge to tease and mock people all the time. But even though she shares their blood, Aunt Rosa isn't like that at all. She has the most common sense among all the siblings. Like Uncle Hideyoshi, she's a kind aunt who will always be on the kid's side. However, possibly because she's more strict as a parent, she's not liberal with handing out spending money like Uncle Hideyoshi. Okay. Now we have the entire group of family members who are going to board the plane. At that moment, as though it had waited for us all to arrive, an announcement rang out through the lobby. Our apologies for the delay. Boarding will now commence for Flight 201 to Nijima. We ask that the passengers please form 2 lines in front of the counter behind the white line. Rosa, you still haven't gone through the boarding procedures, right? Hurry up. Oh no. Maria, come on. Boo! We had to go through a metal detector before going out on the runway. Our small plane wasn't as massive as an international flight, but it was still a plane. A staff member holding a metal detector checked us all. Once all of us cleared the check, we followed the staff member out onto the runway. Come to think of it, everyone here is in the Yoshiromiya family. It's like this is a reserved charter flight or something. Our group stopped in front of the entrance to the airplane. Then our guide turned around and spoke, looking down the passenger list as he did. Boarding will now commence. As I call out the names of the passenger list, please take your seats in order, starting from the front row on the right side, going right to left, then on to the next row. Now begin reading the passenger list. Ushiromiya Hideyoshi-sama. Oh, I'm first. Right here. By the way, do you have some candy, Eva? I've been looking all over for some, but I can't find any. Urashimiya Eva-sama. They're in my handbag. I'll get one once we're inside the plane. I heard that candies are a good way to protect your ears from hurting because of variations in atmospheric pressure when landing or taking off. Probably what they're talking about. Hope I get a window seat. Ha, don't worry. There aren't any other kinds of seats. As George Haneke said that, there were apparently only 2 lines of seats. So this is what a small plane is like. We are totally sure it's not gonna shake, right? Ushiromiya George-sama. Right here. Don't worry, Battler-kun. It won't shake too much. Ushiromiya Battler-sama. Anarchy, what do you mean not too much? You can just swim if you fall from a boat, but if a plane crashes, you're screwed, right? We all get our own parachutes in our seats, don't we? Wait, we don't? Ushiromiya Rudolph-sama. Come on, Battler. Stop standing there slack-jawed and get in. Ow, Dad! Don't push me! We don't get parachutes! Ushiromiya Kirie-sama. Okay, you two, stop fooling around. Let's move on in. Ow, Kirie! Don't push me! This blockhead isn't moving! Ushiromiya Maria-sama. Ooh! Let's move on in! Ushiromiya Rosa-sama. Maria, be quiet. That's your roll call. This is your pilot, Kawabata. We'd like to thank you for taking New Tokyo Aviation's Flight 201 today. We estimate that the flight to Nijima Airport will take about 20 minutes. We are receiving reports of atmospheric turbulence. There may be some shaking of the aircraft, so we ask that you do not unfasten your seatbelts after takeoff. Anarchy, did that guy just say we need to wear our seatbelts? In a jumbo jet, they let you undo them after takeoff, right? So it's gonna shake so much we can't take them off? Damn it, you tricked me! It's gonna shake after all! Where are the parachutes? I knew I should have taken the boat! Legend of the Golden Witch. We have another long intro segment type thing here. Ah. Yeah, so this visual novel is going to be a lot of reading, a lot of things like that. I did notice they talked about the one uncle speaking in Kansai dialect, which was interesting. Or he spoke in a different dialect, and the dialect is the one that's like usually considered a more comedic one, as far as I'm aware. I'd have to double check it, but I think it's the one that's considered more comedic, which is an interesting business choice. But you notice all of them have the family wing on their outfits, except for Kyrie. Oh, I have to check the uncle. I don't know if he did, Yoshi, but I don't know. Should have taken the boat. The boat. Fall! Fall! Ooh! Maria, that's enough. But what a surprise. I thought there was nothing that could scare Battler-kun. This guy can't handle vehicles for some reason. Always yells about falling and sinking and stuff. You're a disgrace of a man, you are. Ah, shut up. That thing was seriously shaking up way too much. I just got a little stressed since it's my first time on a small plane like that. You call that a little stressed? It sounds like it'd be fun to take an overseas vacation with you, Battler-kun. Well, would you like to go to Egypt with your aunt? You'd get to ride a plane for a full 14 hours. Haha! There's a good plan. Battler-kun, you should go let Eva Nissan toughen you up some. Still, it's so hilarious. Yeah, he doesn't have the wing either. Now. Everyone's got their own strong and weak points. It's bad to laugh at them. Dad, you're laughing too. Hey, Maria-chan, you shouldn't laugh anymore. Shouldn't laugh anymore? Ooh. God damn it. Is being scared of planes really such a big deal? Everyone obviously thinks I'm a big oaf now. Shh. We split up and took separate taxis from the airport to the harbor. From there on, we would be taking a boat to the island. Islands are right next to each other, so the distance of the trip wasn't that great. By boat, it was leisurely 30 minutes to the island. When we reached the pier where the boat to the island was anchored, we saw a figure waving at us. George Nissan! It's been so friggin' long! Jessica-chan, it's been a year since I last saw you. You've gotten taller again, haven't you? Yeah, don't give me that. It's embarrassing when you say it every year. Hey, Aniki, you've got to be kidding me. Is that really Jessica? Wait a sec, George. Is that big guy Battler? Both stared at each other. Definitely didn't look like that in my memories, but I do remember her crazy way of talking. Yo, Jessica, what's this now? You're kidding me. You look like a woman now. What are these, boobs? You even managed to get a chest. Let me rub them. Let me... Don't screw around with me. I'm a blushing flower of 18. Of course, my hair grew longer and I got these. What, you think I got boobs just to get fondled by you, loser? Speaking of you, sure, you got all ridiculously huge, but you get big stronger, too? Don't screw with me. I'll show you how much training I've done since back then. You're pissing me off. I'll beat you at your own game. This headstrong girl's name is written like this. She was born in the same unlucky star as me, sharing the same kind of weird name. Anyway, it's pronounced Jessica. She's Dad's older brother's daughter. That older brother happens to be the oldest son of the Shiromiya family, so for now it means Jessica is the direct family heir. Since Jessica and I are the same age and sometimes had little boy-girl squabbles with each other, we've always been used to fighting and joking around together whenever the relatives gather. Excuse me. Jessica grew more quickly, so she always had me beat in terms of size and physical strength. When we scuffled in a contest of strength, it usually went Jessica's way. So even though I realize I've grown bigger, part of my mind is still convinced that I couldn't beat Jessica. Whoa! What are you getting all serious for? Ow! Hey, this is nothing. Jessica, you've gotten weak. Shut up. I'm a girl, so of course I couldn't beat a guy with physical strength forever, right? Well, you've got a point there. Meat I put on my arms all went to your chest. Looks like it'd be a pretty even test of strength between my arms and your boobs, don't you think? I told you my boobs aren't for you to feel up. Guys, how about you? Did your cute little elephant song get a bit— Oh, God, Lord. Stop it, idiot. Perv. You're ruined for marriage. Don't touch me. Don't say stuff people are gonna misinterpret. Honestly, I was so surprised at how feminine Jessica had become to joke around like an idiot to hide it. Well, considering what a bossy brat she was 6 years ago, anyone would be surprised. And I guess she's just as surprised. Probably wasn't expecting to lose to me in a test of strength. After losing that easily, she must be shocked at how much I've grown in the past 6 years. 6 years. It's again, I'm being shown just what a huge gap of time that was. Crap. Total defeat. It's like I'm no match for you anymore. That's not true. Even Battler-kun must have his weaknesses. Right, Maria-chan? Ooh. Fall! Shh, cut it out, Maria. Let's keep that a secret, okay? Fall? What the hell are you talking about? Sorry, there's no chance you'll see that weakness of mine now. After all, the nightmare plane trip is already over and done with. Only thing left is a nice, quiet splashing of the boat ride. Never thought I'd start loving that piece of junk boat this much. Yeah. Huh? Jorjini-san, is there something wrong with his head? You'll understand soon. Very soon. At the time I didn't get what Anaki meant by that big smile. What have we here? Ooh. Battler-san, how big you've grown. Who is it this time? It's an old lady with an apron. Oh yeah, that takes me back. Remember now. Remember her, right? Kumasawa-san. The servant. I could never forget you, Kumasawa-bachan. After all, you haven't aged a bit in these past 6 years. If anything, I'd say you're looking younger than ever. Oh, lately my skin's been getting quite smooth and silky. And look, hasn't my chest gotten bigger as well? How'd you like a little feel? You're kidding, right? My breast fondling is strictly limited to bouncy girls. Oh, I was quite bouncy in my youth. Don't be shy and fondle to your heart's content. Give me a break. Girls I'm looking for, not grannies. Jokes I cracked about Jessica were being turned against me. Come to think of it, Kumasawa has always been the type to tease people. Kumasawa-san, stop that now. People with one foot in the coffin shouldn't jump around. The sport with the young is the most rejuvenating medicine. Oh. Sure for you to come pick us up, Kumasawa-san. I wonder what's gotten into you. Usually your lumbago kicks in whenever someone gives you a job to do. Oh, Yuma-sama, you're as harsh as ever. I found myself with some urgent purchases to make, and while I was at it, I thought I would come welcome you all. Although it does give a bad impression if the one waiting to greet you is a decrepit old woman. Oh. And Eva spoke sarcastically, but Kumasawa-bachan's years of experience were nothing to sneeze at. She was more than capable of smoothly and coolly deflecting that comment. Well, it feels bad to say it, but old Kumasawa-bachan may be past her prime as a servant. She might act as though she's in good health, but between the headaches and her lumbago, her body is wearing out. To tell the truth, the fact that she's still working is impressive. How old is she this year again? She must be pushing 80 at least. It's incredible that she's still able to act so cheerily. You just seem to get more and more lively. Oh, that's right, here you are. It's the tea I told you about before. Look, I brought you some. Please do try it later on. Aunt Rosa took a souvenir bag out from her suitcase. I think that she remembered a promise that she'd apparently made last year and faithfully brought it. This sort of thoughtfulness was just like Aunt Rosa. She wasn't the kind of person who would forget or break a promise. Kumasawa-bachan seemed deeply touched, not only that Aunt Rosa had remembered this year-old promise, but that she would bring a gift to a simple servant like her. This woman is Kumasawa Chiyo-san. Interesting that Chiyo was written katakana, not kanji. She's a senior servant who's been working at the Ushiromiya head family household for many years. As you'd expect from someone her age, manual labor isn't her strong point, but she's a kind of super servant who can handle just about anything else, from kitchen work to cleaning to lawn. Seems like her only flaw is a tendency to slack off. I hear she tries to get away from heavy or troublesome work by playing up her chronic diseases. Kumasawa Ba-chan's case is probably a sign of craftiness rather than laziness. Though it probably doesn't impress those paying her salary. Oh well, even if she's pretty flaky when it comes to work, I could never dislike her. I guess that's probably because of her cheerfulness and her constant smile. Hey, glad to see you're still in fine spirits. How's your back doing then? Even with the medicine, it's not getting one whit better. According to the doctor, nothing can be done for this one. It's what you might call an incurable disease. Anyway, Jessica-chan just keeps getting prettier. Good thing she takes after Natsui Nisan. Really? Personally, I don't think we look alike at all. I mean, I don't even want to be like my parents. I got zero respect for them. Now, you shouldn't say such things. Though there are quite a few people who don't want to be like their parents in our family. Ah, that's me. You sure as hell better not take after me. Your nose looking like mine already pisses me off. What are you talking about? You're surprisingly like you and Father. Come on, you can't be serious. Just how am I like Dad? You're a lot like him, especially in how arrogant and prideful you are. Father's blood is especially strong in you and Nissan. Wouldn't you say, Rosa? Oh, absolutely. Frost Nissan and Rudolph's Nissan are almost unbelievably like Dad. Hi, Eris, how are you doing? Alright already. Why am I the only one under fire from the girls? Hideyoshi Nissan, give me a hand, please. My, Rudolph-kun, you're always so popular with the ladies. I'm jealous. Well, as usual, you're popular enough to make me jealous. Well then, everyone, shall we head over to the boat? Come on now, Maria-san, let's get on the boat together, okay? Get on the boat together, ooh. Everyone gets on together. Ooh. I get so tired of saying ooh. Hell yeah, this time around I'm not gonna be scared. I'm used to being shaken by the waves. With that piece of junk fishing boat, I'm less afraid of the shaking than the engine breaking down, the boat drifting off. Oh yes, Balor-kun, I forgot to tell you. That fishing boat was completely worn out, so it was taken out of commission a few years back. Now we get taken to the island in a different boat. Oh right! It's Balor-kun's first time on the new boat. Super comfy. And frickin' fast. It can go at crazy high speeds. Oh. That means less travel time, right? That sounds great. Having to worry about sinking is less scary than being on a plane, but still be awesome to get it over with as quick as possible. Ooh. Is Balor-kun gonna go fall again? That's only on airplanes. Everything's fine now. Anyway, it's the captain's pride and joy, a kind of modded high-speed boat. Seems he's got it pretty souped up. He's bragging about how he attached 4 base high-efficiency propellers to make it break 40 knots or something like that. He talks about it all the time, so I sort of memorized the spiel. Yeah, I've got it memorized too, since we hear about it every year. Captain says he's been obsessed with modding ever since he lost a speed contest with a foreign boat ages ago. According to him, that opponent managed to break 30 knots with just a fishing boat. His thirst for a revenge match got him to build an awesome all-new, super high-speed modded boat. I'm sure you'll just love it, Battler. Super high-speed modded boat? My first thought was that this would be much better than some beat-up boat that might sink at any moment. But for some reason I got this feeling of foreboding. Probably just overthinking it. Maybe. Hey, Balor, maybe you should just swim to the island. Balor-kun, you shouldn't lean over the railing too much. You might fall. Ooh! Fall! Damn it! So this is why you're all grinning back there. So this is the super high-speed boat that the captain started modding. Oh yes, that piece of junk fishing boat from 6 years ago doesn't hold a candle to this guy. Whoa, it's shaking. Gonna fall. Woo! Gonna fall. If I fall, I'll land in the ocean and drown. Where's the parachute? I mean, where's the buoy? Give me a life jacket. Wah! Tyler, what the heck are you doing that for? Wah! Jessica-chan, Ria-chan, it's not nice to cheese. Valor-kun, if you're scared, then just don't come out on deck. I think you'll be able to calm down a bit if you go inside the boat. That's a no thank you, Aniki. Shipwreck victims are always the ones inside the boat. Survivors are usually those on deck during the accident. So I'm staying right here. But it's shaking! I'm gonna fall! Whoa! Shake, gonna fall! Woo! Maria, I told you to behave yourself. But Valor-kun, it looks like you really can't handle it. I'll go tell the captain to slow down for you. Whoa, Aunt Rosa, thank you. I can tell you now that safe, slow driving is definitely the way to go, even on the sea. Don't do that, Rosa. Trials and tribulations are important for young men. Isn't that right, Valor-kun? You better be able to overcome a little scare like this. Otherwise, you'll never be able to go to Egypt with your aunt. Whoa, Aunt Eva, you're so mean. Oh no, I'm gonna fall. Life jacket, parachute! Whoa! Wait! Gotta spin it around and think that way. What's the enemy aiming for? Is he doing that to scare me? Is that what he's aiming to do for it? If that's what he's aiming for, too bad, like hell I'll be scared. But no, I'm gonna fall. So after I made a huge fool of myself for a while, Aunt Rosa had a talk with the boat captain and he slowed down to a much more manageable speed for me. That's a bit better. So I thought I was gonna die earlier. Apparently the max speed I can tolerate is extremely slow. That just now was completely insane. The whole boat was shaking, sliding and leaping on the ocean's surface. Felt like I was riding on the back of a flying fish. Jessica was still defying at me as I leaned against the railing, tired and disheartened. I lost in that strength contest earlier, but I'm glad I know I'm no worse off where it really counts. Seriously. Damn it, go ahead and laugh. One of these days I'm gonna find your weakness and get back at you. Then your booze will be mine to squish. Ah! Yeah, sure, good luck with that. Ooh, Battler all week. Yeah, Battler all week. I want to die on land, not on the ocean or the sky. Maria was patting my back, so I patted her head in return. Her expression was blank, as usual, but I realized that she wanted to console me. Battler-kun, the captain's throwing in drinks to make up for this. Would you like one to calm yourself down? George Anaki and Kumasawa Ba-chan brought us all ice-cold cans of soft drinks covered in beads of water. Judging from Kumasawa-san's big grin, our parents inside the boat were probably all rolling around laughing at my moment of pure terror. Damn it, I'm so embarrassed, I can't bear to face any of them. If I didn't change the subject somehow, I had the feeling I'd be the butt of everyone's jokes for the whole trip, so I tried to think of something harmless to talk about. Hey Jessica, how are Uncle Cross and Aunt Natsui doing? My old man and mom? Fortunately, they're fine. Though every other word out of their mouths is study, study, which is pissing me off. I'm so jealous since it doesn't look like Uncle Hideyoshi or Uncle Rudolph would say stuff like that. Huh, oh no. Before I had my exams, my parents kept pressing me about it over and over. I thought it was annoying then, but now I'm grateful. Ha, I knew it. You really are awesome, Aniki. Anyway, I have to look after myself. No one tells me what to do. Well, it's not like I'd listen if they did. Battler-san, have you still not returned to your parents' home? Well, I kind of go back now and then. I've got lots of clothes and stuff left at the house I was living in until recently. Ooh? Battler has 2 houses? Something like that. Why? Why do you have 2 houses? Ooh? Ooh? Only Maria, who couldn't really grasp the situation, voiced this naive question. However, the others just shot nervous glances at me, choosing not to respond even though they knew the answer. Maria, look, you can see the harbor now. Look, over there. Can you see it? Woo! Saw the harbor! Saw the harbor! Apparently, Jessica was trying to be nice by changing the subject. Ah, well. I'd rather not talk about it if I can help it, but it's uncomfortable having it treated like some kind of weird taboo. I don't mind that much myself anymore. Maybe a member of the Ushiromiya family, but the truth is that for these last 6 years, I've been living with my grandparents on my late mother's side. I'd even been using her family name. When those grandparents passed away, one after the other, I basically had no choice but to go back and live with the old bastard. Don't get me wrong. I didn't just run away from home or anything like that. The only one at fault here is my dad. I don't really blame Kyrie-san. Being able to hold that old bastard's reins and ride him out is no mean feat. Still, the way that old bastard betrayed my mom. Well, unfortunately, I still haven't fully gotten over that. Ahem. We'll be getting there soon. George Anarchy cleared his throat, trying to change the subject. Please forgive my indiscretion. Seems this old woman has said too much already. If I have hurt your feelings... I don't mind it, and no one's feelings are hurt. Don't worry, Kumasawa-ba-chan. Kumasawa-san seemed to regret speaking out of turn, but I was more concerned about being worried for something like that, so I stood up and passed off lightly. After that, I had a sip of my drink and headed over to Maria and Jessica, who were gazing at the silhouette of the island. Ooh! Butler! I saw the island! Saw the island! There! Ooh! Where is it? Oh, I see it now. Even after 6 years, the island hasn't changed a bit. A small island silhouette in front of us had gotten pretty close. The island's name is Rokunjima. It's a small island about 10 kilometers around, located in the Izu archipelago. Since they call this archipelago the Izu 7, lots of people think there are only 7 islands, but that's not true. There's actually several more, and Rokunjima is one of the minor islands that don't get counted. Even if that weren't the case, I doubt you'd find many people who knew about this island. Only people connected to the Ushiromiya family ever go there. In other words, outsiders and tourists never had any reason to care about it. So you'll never find the island's name in a travel brochure. After all of Rokunjima is an estate possessed by the Ushiromiya head family. Only Ushiromiya family lives there, and only people connected to the Ushiromiya family come and go to and from there. There's nothing there except a harbor and a mansion. The vast majority of the island is still just uncultivated forest. Such a waste when it could be made into a nice golf course or something. However, when you realize that the entire coastline is a private beach, it starts sounding pretty magnificent. You probably guessed it by now, but to put it simply, well, the Ushiromiya family is just rolling in dough. Head families apparently possesses a vast fortune, and Dad and the others who make up the branch families have put up plenty of wealth for themselves, finding success in their respective businesses. I've been living in a commoner's life at my grandparents' home these 6 years, so I've completely forgotten. But the old bastard's house is really elegant, and everything about it is tuned to match the snobbish taste of the annoyingly rich. Come to think of it, I guess that makes George Anarchy, Jessica, Maria, and me wealthy, high-class gentlemen and ladies. Needless to say, none of us think of ourselves in that way at all. I don't see myself as being rich, and George Anarchy, who takes self-discipline very seriously, doesn't let himself get too comfortable. Jessica is always complaining that she'd rather move to the city than be rich. Maria is still a kid who isn't even interested in money at all. Does that attitude really make us any less snobbish? From the perspective of people in poverty who can't pay the bills, we really have been blessed with a lot. This isn't the place to explain any further, so I won't. Anyway, it's the same as not being able to choose the parents you're born from. I didn't ask to be born into a rich family, and I don't think it's really something to be envied. It can be pretty trying when people are prejudiced against you just because you're rich and refuse to judge you by your merits. As I pondered these sentimental thoughts, Maria started shouting and leaning over the railing. Ooh, gone. What's wrong, Maria? Did you drop something? Ooh, gone. Ooh. Maria kept yelling, gone. At first it sounded as though she'd dropped something, but while she shouted, she also pointed out over the ocean. What's wrong? What's gone? I'll look for it too if you want. What is it? If she dropped something, she would probably look down at the floor, but Maria was pointing out over the ocean. One would assume that by the gesture she had spotted something, but she kept saying that something wasn't there. Strange. However, since my last memories of this place came from 6 years ago, I was able to spot it before Anarchy, who comes here every year. Huh? If I remember correctly, wasn't there a torii or something atop a small crag around here? That's right, it definitely was there. I remember it well, since as we get close to the island, it's the first thing to greet us like a landmark. Wow, you're amazing, Battler. Even though it's been 6 years, you remembered. was here, wasn't it? I remember too. The tutelary god's shrine and that Tory-like thing were standing all alone on that crag. And now that you mention it, they're gone, aren't they? Pretty sure they're still there last year. Gone. Gone. Ooh! Maybe they were washed away by the waves or something. It was a small crag, so it probably got worn away over time. Well, that's my theory, too. That's my brand! It was last summer that it disappeared. But they say an enormous lightning bolt came crashing down one evening and smashed the shrine. Fishermen whisper that having a thunderbolt fall on our honored tutelary god must be a portent of approaching misfortune. Kuwabara Kurabara. Kumasawa-san smiled impishly, as if teasing us, rubbing her hands together while intoning a Japanese phrase meant to warn off lightning. However, Maria apparently took this seriously, and stared fixedly over the ocean where the crag housing the shrine god was supposed to be. A portent of misfortune? Ooh. Enough, Kumasawa-san. Maria isn't old enough to get that kind of joke. It's okay, Maria. It's just a coincidence. Nothing scary is gonna happen. George Anarchy put a hand on Maria's shoulder to calm her down, but Maria's sharp-eyed expression didn't waver. Misfortune. Misfortune. Maria muttered that word over and over. Apparently, repeating a single word over and over is a habit that Maria's had for a long time. However, since the word she was saying was literally an ill omen, it was pretty creepy. Hey now, Maria. You say it over and over like that, misfortune will really end up happening, you know? Tapped Maria's other shoulder. Maria whipped her head around and stared into my face and spoke unblinkingly. Ooh, misfortune is coming. Huh? And just where is it coming from? I answered lightheartedly, trying to break the tension in the air. At that moment, Maria held up a finger, raising her arm high and pointing up to the heavens. When I looked up, I saw the sky was still just as cloudy, but had grown a great deal more leaden than it had been that morning. That's right, they were saying that a typhoon was approaching. We had planned to spend one night on the island, but if this storm doesn't pass quickly, won't be able to make it to school on Monday. Well, I guess it makes for a pretty good excuse to be absent. Ooh. She apparently sensed some kind of misfortune in this cloudy sky. She's been muttering that non-stop for a while now. Girls at Maria's age tend to be very impressionable. She's just about the age that many girls start to get excited about sixth senses, whether they have any psychic potential and stuff. For all we know, this might be due to her childish, sensitive nature. It's okay, Maria-chan. The weather might get worse tonight, but tomorrow will clear up and become a pretty blue sky. Ooh. Pretty blue sky. Ooh. That's right, but tomorrow will be a pretty blue sky. There's no rain that doesn't end, and no clouds that never clear. Ooh. Rain that doesn't end. Clouds that never clear. Ooh. I know the typhoon's coming, but it'll go away. It'll soon go away. We'll be okay, Maria. Ooh! 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 Maria started yelling ooh. It looked as though she'd been having a tantrum because no one could understand what she was trying to say. What in the world is Maria trying so desperately to warn us about? Unable to understand her, we couldn't help but feel a vague sense of misfortune. I heard that everyone can feel the supernatural, but that it weakens as you age. That might mean that Maria, the youngest one of us all, still possessed some kind of sense that the rest of us had lost. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Note to self, prep a larger tea next time. I wonder if that sense is sending her a warning. At that moment, Kumasawa-san quietly opened her mouth. Rumor has it that long ago Rokujima was... Kumasawa-san. Let's not talk about that now. Just as Kumasawa-san was about to tell her some kind of story, Jessica sharply interrupted her. Jessica's tone was extremely firm for her. I wanted to push her further, just out of simple curiosity, but judging by the look on Jessica's face, whatever Kumasawa-chan was likely to say would probably make Maria even more uneasy. If I did try to press her for the story, the odds were pretty good that wouldn't be anything bright and cheery. Oh, I do apologize for that. The wind here is hard to bear for the elderly, So if you would excuse me for now. Gossipers have no reason to hang about after they've been told to stop chatting. Kumasawa-san finally realized she'd overstepped her bounds. She went back inside the boat. After she left, Uncle Hideyoshi showed up in her place, and immediately the music got better. Since he'd arrived mid-conversation, he completely failed to notice the complicated atmosphere that hung about the scene. He refreshingly and unwittingly swept that atmosphere aside. So in the end, it was this lack of tact that brightened the mood. Looks like we're almost there. Okay, just a bit more. Took forever at the speed we went today, didn't it? Wonder whose fault that was. Ha ha ha. Aw, Uncle Hideyoshi, give me a break already. Yeah, come on, don't stop there. Seriously, thanks to Battler here, it's taking forever. Ooh. Maria probably thought that everyone was refusing to listen to her. She hung her head, wearing a fretful expression. As she did, George Anarchy crouched down to meet her eyes and spoke to her kindly. Maria-chan, there's nothing to be afraid of, because we're all together. Nothing to be afraid of if we're together. Go ahead and say it. Ooh, there's nothing to be afraid of if we're together. Yes, there's nothing to be afraid of if we're with each other. Ooh. That's right, exactly what George Anarchy said. If we stick together, there will never be anything at all to be afraid of. Right, Jessica? Yeah, no doubt about that. What George Nissan says is always true, Maria. Ooh. George Nissan always true. Yes. I don't lie. So trust me. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're all together. Ooh. George Nissan doesn't lie. I trust you. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're all together. Ooh, not afraid. Maria jumped into George Anaki's arms and hugged him tightly. After Anaki patted her head, she jumped away again. Her facial expression had undergone a 180-degree change, turning back to normal. She was once again the ordinary Maria. Ooh, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore, because we're together. Ooh. Yeah, that's it. You look all better now. You're strong, and that's awesome. Ooh, I'm awesome. Hey now, what's going on here? Maria-chan didn't get seasick, did she? Well, something like that. We'll be arriving soon. Harbor was already drawing near. Oh, aha.